Hello everyone, Shadefyre here, and today I'm taking a first impressions look at Resident Evil Revelations 2, or Biohazard Revelations 2, because for some reason, even in English territories, this is still called Biohazard. There's a lot of weird stuff like that in this already. Anyhow, this is an episodic follow-up to Resident Evil Revelations, though it's being released in a bit of an odd format because the episodes are just coming out weekly instead of, 6 months apart or whatever, like Telltale does, where there's no real definite timeline of when you're going to get a new episode. And this is only the first episode. The next episode doesn't come out until next week, Wednesday or something like that. So I figured I'd do a first impressions now that I've only played the first episode. I've played it all the way through, and I've got some mixed feelings on it. So obviously, right now, with only the first episode out, one of the biggest content pieces you get in this is raid mode, which has been expanded further from the first Revelations, and I think I'm actually going to do a separate video for that, just because there's kind of a lot of little things to cover. So we'll just do the campaign, and I will start from the beginning. Once you beat it, you unlock stuff like countdown mode, where basically you have a timer that constantly ticks down, and invisible mode, where all the enemies are invisible, like the unlockable mode in the first remake Resident Evil. Gonna go with the main campaign. Just like Resident Evil 6, they have a perk system for upgrading your characters instead of, upgrading your weapons, really. And it's all, do more damage, heal faster, There's a weird one where one of your characters will actually use their gun when you're not controlling them. Yeah, this one. Otherwise, they'll just stand there and do nothing when you're not controlling them. And that's just another one of those little weird things that bothers me about this. Alright, so as you can see, each episode is made up of 2 chapters. We're going to start with Chapter A. Maybe we'll swap over to Chapter B just quickly. Gonna let the intro cutscene play out.
Bioterror. The world lives with it. You live with it. Viruses are stolen, re-engineered, misused with tragic results. And who are you supposed to trust? Politicians who sell their souls for a few votes? CEOs who betray consumers for a quick buck? Count on us instead. We're above the politics, always watching, always ready to face the threat head on. We are the unflinching mop that sops up the evils of bioterrorism and chemical warfare. They call us Terra Save. Because tear doesn't have to end with a wrist.
Would you like to know more?
Hey guys.
Redfield.
Oh, hi, Claire.
Hey! Hey, Claire!
Moira. Welcome to the club.
Reporting for duty, Ms. Redfield. When do the hazings start?
Cut it out. We've been friends for how long?
Long enough that I'm allowed to give you shit.
Psst. Claire, could you,
What's up, Neil?
Something's going down in Washington. Did you hear anything?
What, the new virus? Come on. You know Tricella's history, right? Hello?
Hey, that Barry Burton's girl?
Yep. Moira started today. But you've got to be careful if you're going to mention
Her and her dad? Oh, yeah. Emotional minefield.
Okay. You did your homework. What other horrible invasions of privacy have you gotten there?
Hey, I gotta look out for TerraSafe. We have our enemies. Anyway, good luck breaking her in.
She's not a horse. Bye. Uh-oh. What'd he do this time?
Fucking Barry. Every time I ask him anything, he pushes back. I wouldn't even be here if I listened to him.
Claire Redfield, you're coming with us.
No! There must be some kind of...
One of the names on that guy's list was Gina Foley, who was presumably related to horrible monster lady Rachel Foley from the first Revelations. She actually shows up again in raid mode.
Huh? Why did it open? I didn't do anything.
Huh. So I guess I started off with weapons here, even though I'm
Where have I
not
been
supposed to have
taking
any yet. I guess it just kept my save from before. Anyhow, once again, Claire Redfield wakes up in a prison cell. And we hit kind of the first of our problems with this game, which is it has some weird performance issues that seems to result from being a not completely great port. Since this is also out as a downloadable on consoles, PS4 and Xbox One, it doesn't run great. Also, we're just gonna unequip these guns that we're not supposed to have. But yeah, there's some weird just performance dips even on a good system that a lot of people are having, especially in this first area.
Is that Moira?
Timeline-wise, this game takes place after Resident Evil 5. Obviously, they mentioned Tricell being taken down. And I assume this takes place before 6, and maybe that's what that mention of something going on in Washington is.
Don't worry. I'm gonna get you out of there right now.
You know, the eventual death of the president.
Moira, are you okay? Did they hurt you?
Claire! Oh, I remember. Hey, take it. I mean, what in a moist
talking.
barrel of fuck is... Oh, Claire, I just want to go home.
It's okay. We're gonna get out of here.
And in case you missed it, Moira here is Barry Burton's daughter.
None of this makes any sense. What did we do?
He of
Wish I could
the
tell you.
Jill Sandwich fame. She swears a lot, because I guess that's to show that she's a teenager, and she's rebelling against her father and, you know, video games, Capcom writing. Also, it initially bothered me, I think it's because I'm LPing Resident Evil 2 right now, but something about Claire's redesign and her, like, sort of older look, because she's obviously quite a bit older here, bothered me, but I don't know, I sort of adjusted to it after playing through the episode.
This is so messed up. What do you think this place was?
Neither of them are particularly bothered by all of these bodies on meat hooks. Just kind of like, oh, that's messed up, that's weird. Whatever. For some reason, this also reminds me very much of the early levels of 5, where they're like, oh, look at all this horror, creepy stuff lying around. And torn up goats and sacks that jiggle. Resident Evil 4 also had some of that stuff. You know, sort of the silly funhouse horror. Also, while we wait for Moira here, I should mention one of the other problems. Despite the fact that we have 2 characters, one of them AI controlled, this game does not have co-op. The PC version doesn't have co-op at all. No local or online co-op. Even in raid mode right now, though they're apparently going to add that to raid mode in the future. And people were kind of mad about that because on the store page it said there would be local co-op at least on release. And then on the last sort of day before it came out, they removed that. So there's no way to play campaign with other people unless you have a console version. Which, you know, obviously local co-op doesn't apply to a lot of people with PC, unless you've got the right setup for having people over. But still, just the fact that that's not in there at all, and...
Is there someone else in here?
If they're going to add an online co-op to raid mode, why wouldn't they add it to the campaign as well? If it's presumably using the same code almost. The only reason I can think of is because the 2 characters do not play the same. We'll see that a bit later. But basically, Moira doesn't do a lot of fighting. She's kind of a support character, and I guess they'd be like, oh no, somebody doesn't want to play the support character. Also, just a random... I feel like people who design these things do not understand
I think there's a way through on the other side of the glass.
You don't understand how meat hooks work. I mean, obviously they couldn't have stuck these meat hooks through the table. They're not sharp on the top. There's a window here. We can break it. We're not also supposed to have that knife, but I couldn't get rid of it. So let's go find the knife that I'm holding. I actually hadn't gone back and played through this since I finished it, so I didn't know that we would keep all of our stuff for our... I would have probably just started another save. Where do I even get this knife? Oh, I believe it is supposed to be sticking out of this minecart here. The minecart that looks like a roller coaster. So we're already in a bit of a cliche territory, as we are apparently test subjects, and presumably that's why we have these bracelets that I can't really get a good camera angle of. The thing on her wrist, we both have one. Moira's is yellow for some reason, and ours is green. Is that the same one? I can't tell. Moira, stop moving. Yeah, okay. Hers is yellow, Claire's is green. We'll find out why that is pretty quickly. There. Ammo in here?
I think we can squeeze under this. Give me a hand, Moira. Go!
Also, this is, I think, the only Resident Evil where you can actively crouch.
Careful. Stand back.
Infected zombie men confirmed.
What the fuck? That was close.
And they've gone with the sort of bloody screen effect again to tell you when you're dying, just like Revelations, though I think it looks a bit worse here. We don't have any green herbs, so we can't do anything about it.
Holy shit, it's gonna kill her!
Oh, you know what? I'm pretty sure that's
Come on,
Gina
hurry.
right there. Gina Foley. I didn't realize it the first time because I hadn't unlocked her in raid mode. Green herbs now, you just have a button to hold them down, so you can't use them instantly. Unless you bring up the inventory and hit use, and then it uses it instantly. But then you have to pull up the inventory, and it takes about as much time, I think.
Gina.
Little eyes. Oh, God.
So Gina had a little bit more sense than her sister because at least one of her eyes is not covered by her hair.
Did you know her?
Unlike Rachel, who had a face full of hair.
Yeah. She's with TerraSave. Why would anyone do this?
So presumably they kidnapped most of those TerraSave people that were in that party.
I can hear the wind out there. This must be the way out.
Then we need to find a way through.
What kind of whack job would... Ugh, this is not okay.
Here.
Hold steady. Okay.
Almost got it. No!
Well, that blows.
I will say that I don't think this actually looks that much better than the first Revelations, which obviously didn't look amazing because it was a 3DS game that was then sort of up-resed and ported to the PC, but I think this only looks about on par with the Revelations HD release. Because, I mean, obviously it's a lower budget downloadable title, and in fact it is cheaper than the first Revelations to buy the entire episode, or series of episodes. But I don't know, it just kind of feels like Capcom just sort of rushed this out because they're like, hey, you know, those episodic games are selling well with Telltale, so I bet we can do that. You've got treasures, but the treasures aren't for money. They just give you points to buy more of those perks. And just like Resident Evil 6, it seems like you'd have to do an annoying amount of replaying to get enough points to get some of the high cost ones.
Alright, we made it. Key's over there.
There's one of those blue medallions.
This place reeks.
They're called tower medallions in this, and that one's not blue because I've shot it. I guess they turned silver to tell you you already gotten it, which is nice, because I could never remember in the other games which ones I've already gotten.
Shit, what's that sound?
Well, that's weird. So, you're not supposed to get that from him. It's supposed to be hanging from that pipe up there until Moira gets the flashlight. Because basically, her special ability is that she has a flashlight, and she can point stuff out that Claire can't see. You'll see like little shiny spots on the ground, and then there'll be like ammo and stuff. You can't see that stuff or pick it up at all as Claire, even if you know it's there. So it's kind of annoying because you have to keep switching between them just to do that. She can also stun enemies with her flashlight, and then Claire can follow up on them. I also think we were supposed to get a gun from this guy, which is gonna kind of make it a little hard to not have that.
Watch out!
Because there are a bunch of guys that spawn here. see if I can, For some reason, I can't do ground finishers in the campaign. They work fine in raid mode, but I never get the option to do them.
Forget about him, just run!
GG,
Run,
Moira.
Run!
Oh, he climbed that a lot faster than her. What are you gonna do now? Alright, this could be a bit problematic.
When is this going to end? Let's double back and try the key.
It's okay, they can't follow us through doors. I forgot to mention too, there's a dedicated dodge button now. Instead of trying to press turn around before you get hit, like it was in Revelations 1, which is a really dumb system, you can just dodge at any time now by pressing spacebar in the direction. Like here, I should be able to do a down finisher on him, but... Moira has inherited the power of Alan Wake. She can power up flashlights by squinting really hard at them. If I can find another one of those tables, I can re-equip my gun, since I thought the game would just give me another one. I also noticed these guys are a lot closer to traditional zombies than a lot of the previous Resident Evil games have been, though there are actually even more zombies later on. I'm just gonna run past them. It's also weird that the zones are not continuous, because obviously this isn't a mobile game, so you don't need to split them up like that. But all the areas are still sort of self-contained, like they were in the first game. And the music just stops.
You need a gun too, Moira.
No, I really, really don't. Sorry, I don't do firearms. Not after what happened.
Shit, I'm sorry. I forgot. Maybe we can find you something else.
So that's Moira's lame
No, I'll
excuse
just
for,
be on flashlight duty or something. It's fine.
That's her lame excuse for why she doesn't have a gun, is she doesn't do firearms. Life or death situation, but nope, not gonna touch a
I
gun.
think there's something shiny there, but I can't make it out.
Let me hit it with a flashlight.
That's basically just to, force you to use the characters for their own roles. Also, Moira gets a crowbar, eventually. Because she can handle blunt weapons, apparently, but not a gun. Presumably it's because she's Barry's kid, and Barry is a gun nut, so there's some traumatic childhood experience with shooting her dog or something.
Nice. Blunt weapon. I can do blunt weapons.
Also, even in this first episode, there is a bunch of collectible stuff like these Kafka symbols. Or Kefka, depending on how you want to say it. Not the villain from Final Fantasy VI, but the famous author. I guess I already got this one, so it's already glowing, but you point your flashlight at them, and Claire cannot see them. Well, Claire's got some experience with little girls.
Claire? You saw that, right?
Yeah, I saw something.
There's a bunch of zombie-esque prisoners in here. Including this big gas mask pyramid head motherfucker.
What? Who the fuck is quoting poetry?
Are you afraid? You can tell me. Talk to me.
What are you talking about?
Those bracelets change color in response to fear.
And who exactly are you?
So much suffering. You don't even know what to be afraid of yet.
So yeah,
Is
there's
she
a
talking to us or at us?
gimmick thing there with the bracelets changing color as the characters are afraid. That doesn't really come into play gameplay-wise or anything, but even story-wise, that doesn't really come up until, well, not in this episode at all. So they put a giant
This looks like a way out.
flamethrower ball here.
Ugh, fucking technology.
But we need a cog. I'm seriously not sure why that's a K and not a C. Yeah, that's it's not weird at all. Also, there's like a fucking jigsaw doll from Saw giggling sound in the background track for this area. Like, you can hear that, right? It's really faint. And there's also a bunch of excerpts from Kafka stories in here. I guess they sort of went with Kafka as the theme this time instead of Dante's Inferno from the first Revelations. I'm probably missing a bunch of Moira stuff, but I'm just trying to get through this.
That looks comfy.
So there's the gear cog.
Yeah, let's take one home.
Look at this machine. There's something stuck in it.
Here,
It's
let me
not
show
working.
you. It's right there.
The power must be off. Maybe there's a switch?
Alright, so I think that's good enough for Claire and Moira here. You basically spend a bunch of time trying to get that power back on so you can get that cog. And then once you get past the flamethrower, you're almost at the end of the episode. So there's not too much there. I don't want to modify, I just want to equip it. Got one shotgun shell. But yeah, it pretty much works the same shooting wise. You know, you got your crosshair, you got... Well, that's pretty much it. You can hold 4 weapons, though I only found these 2
I'll
in
give
this
you a boost.
episode.
See if you can climb up.
Okay.
So let us dip out here. It's going to be a little bit of a spoiler here for the end of Claire and Moira's chapter, though obviously not the whole thing, just that one chapter, since Barry's begins after that, and I wanted to show off a little bit of that. But basically, spoilers, Claire and Moira make it to a radio tower and set out a call for help. I don't really think that's that much of a spoiler.
be alive. Now you stay by the boat, little lady. I mean it. I've got some grown-up stuff to attend to, but I'll come back for you later, okay?
You can't just leave me.
No. No. It's too dangerous for you to come along.
I'm not gonna be any safer here.
Is there a little girl on this planet that will listen to me? All right, stay close. You're with me now. Come on.
So Barry's support character is this small child. Also, interestingly, he has his Star's Samurai Edge as his main pistol, despite not using it in the remake, though you could get it as an unlockable. He also has his Magnum, which he does use in Resident Evil, the first one. I think he only has it in the remake. In the original, he just has the pistol.
A radio tower. That's gotta be it.
He also has an assault rifle.
What are you doing all alone? Where are your parents?
I don't have any parents. And I don't know why I'm here. I just am.
She got you just like she got my baby.
You don't pick any of this stuff up. He just starts with all three guns. You also have these sub-weapons. He has some firebomb bottles. You can make these out of ingredients you find. There are a bunch of different elements for throwable bottles, but I think that only really applies in raid mode. Just some straight-up Resident Evil 4 barrels.
You're not scared of me?
No. You're alright.
Come on, is anyone really going to be scared of Barry?
Watch out!
There are a bunch of these things. I can't remember what these are, but they were immediately familiar when I saw them. There's some sort of insect with... They have like these big folded pincers in front of them. They look exactly like this, except they're gray instead of black. I can't remember what they're called. Other than being giant, I don't think these are really mutated. They're just like, oh, those are spooky bugs. Let's have them be a basic enemy.
So what's your name, sweetie?
Natalia.
Wow, what a pretty name. My name's Barry.
Barry?
That's right, don't wear it out.
I won't.
Also, unlike the other two, Barry has his own flashlight, but it does not make things show up. You actually need a creepy mystery child here to point stuff out, even though she doesn't have a flashlight. They just kept that mechanic for both characters. So it seems like the setup they're going with is every episode will have one chapter as Barry and one chapter as Claire, with a total of 4 episodes. And then I think they said there's some bonus chapters too, which maybe those will come out along with the last one. I'm not sure.
Looks like this is the only way through.
Also, there are red herbs in this, but they work differently than traditionally. They don't give you a full heal, since green herbs already kind of give you a full heal. If you combine red herbs and green herbs, you just get more green herbs. There are also tourniquets that you can pick up. Basically, when you get hit really hard, by like some sort of power attack, you'll get stuck with bleed status as well, and you can't run or anything while you're bleeding.
The monsters.
I don't think you can die of bleeding because it seems to go away eventually, but it's a pain in the ass, and a tourniquet gets rid of it. And also you can have your support character use one on you if they have one in their inventory. I still can't switch to her. So yeah, these guys are a bit closer to actual zombies. Oh, I'm just getting slapped all over the place.
Must be the infected the brief mentioned.
I'm pretty sure Barry is supposed to be a founding member of the BSAA. So I assume he came here with their knowledge, though I don't know why he came alone. Like, oh, some group kidnapped a bunch of people from this anti-bioterrorism thing. I'm sure it has nothing to do with bioterrorism.
Over there, another one.
How do you know?
I can just sort of see them.
She has special eyes. So whenever you're in Natalia, you can see enemies through walls, and if you crouch, you can see them from farther away.
It's too dangerous.
Why? I'm not scared.
She says she's not scared, but her little bracelet thing is red.
There's something ahead. Be careful.
There's an
You just
item
let
there.
me
There it is.
handle this one.
Also, since you can crouch, you can of course stealth attack enemies, which is another thing that no Resident Evil has. Barry doesn't really seem to understand the purpose of stealth because he is fucking loud when he does that. Like nothing to see here, folks. How did that not... Did that guy just not see me because I was crouching? I mean, yeah, you could stealth attack these guys, but they only take like one headshot or two with pistol ammo, so it's not like they're a huge expenditure. Because Barry's Samurai Edge is pretty powerful, even just for a basic pistol. Especially against living things. This guy knows I'm here, doesn't he? Or is he just staggering in a very... No. He seems to know I'm here. Primo puzzle solving. Where do I put the box? And what's in the box?
Can you make it?
Yeah.
Natalia here is like the most capable child when it comes to climbing. Even Ashley Graham couldn't climb ledges like this herself.
There's a hole here.
There was a hole here, but it's gone now. So Natalia doesn't even have a weapon, but she can pick up bricks and throw them.
Okay, all clear.
Gunpowder is one of the things you can use
You're braver
to
than me.
make exploding bottles. It has no use otherwise. Alright, so this is actually the room we stopped in as Claire and Moira. As this first episode is basically about Barry trying to retrace their steps. And get back to that radio tower.
Is this a control room?
Looks like a control room.
Careful! There's something on the floor.
There's some enemies that like explode into those flesh mines, but they're way easier to see in raid mode because they have like health bars and levels over them. It's weird too that you can't do a ground finisher because there's an achievement for doing 50 ground follow-ups. Also, there's a lot of like stuff left over from Russians here, so it seems like this was a Russian penal colony originally, before Announcer Lady took over. Alright, here we go. So apparently when the thing hits full red, the subject mutates. Which is weird because hers is full red. But maybe her mutation is, yo, I can see monsters now. Anyhow, I think that'll do it for... Let's look at Revelations 2. It seems alright so far. I think for the price, it's only $25 instead of Revelation 1's $40. That it doesn't seem like a huge investment either way, and I'd definitely say that if you like raid mode from the first one, it's worth it alone for this, because even in this first episode there was a lot of raid mode content. So yeah, I'm enjoying this so far. I don't think it's amazing, but I don't think it's awful. And it seems to be mostly running alright for me. Just like the first game, while recording, this runs fine because the frame rate is capped. But when I turn off the cap, it jumps around a lot. Anyhow, I've been Shadefyre, and if you're interested in raid mode, I'll also have a separate first impressions on this game's raid mode. So check that out if you want. And yeah, I think this is alright. I guess we'll see how this goes. The rest of it will be out by next month. So who knows, maybe I'll do a full playthrough of this after it's all released. Anyhow, you folks have a good day.